Okay, we're live. Welcome to DeFi today. Our topic today is Delta Motorsport with Ceran Sokhi Singh. And we're waiting for him. He's not quite here yet. So, in the
I
meantime, Chase, what's going on? What's going on with Motorsport at Delta?
well, I am happy to announce that we actually currently have another mini game outside of the play to earn game that we announced in our white paper that is currently in the making. Hopefully, we can launch it before our launch, which is sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks or later, depending on auditing.
Oh, I think Ceran's coming.
Yeah, Sarah will be here soon.
Ceran, man, is
Hey,
there.
Saren.
Oh,
What's up?
not too bad. How are you guys?
We're
Very
doing
good.
great.
Nice.
How's the temperature? 40 degrees still?
Well, it's hot all of a sudden, but not as bad as the last time we spoke.
It's a lot better than last time, right? Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. All right. So we just started.
Sweet.
So, Chase, did you want to start with the questions you had, or do you want to do it?
Go ahead and ask any questions that are on your mind. I was muted.
All right. Let's do it then. All right. So, Sam, for people that don't know who you are, what can you tell us?
So I'm Ceran. I'm currently testing in Formula 3 and then Formula 4, and my goal is to be the first sleek Formula 1 driver.
So you do Formula 3 and Formula 4 right now. How long have you been doing that?
So I've been doing testing in mostly Formula 3 for about 3 years. It's been myself and my family who have been funding it at the moment. So we've been having a few tests where we can like afford to do so. In total, I've had about six tests so far. I just had a test, and I just had a test a few days ago in the Formula 4 machinery, which went quite well.
So when you do testing, what do you do exactly? You drive them and you test how they handle the road, or what? How does it work?
Yeah. So for the main purpose of each test is for me to gain experience just behind the wheel, as that's the only thing that I'm just lacking at the moment. And it's just to like feel the car, feel what the car does, feel the downforce, and just get to know the car and feedback to the mechanic and engineers to actually see how it can move forward. And each time I've gone out in the car, I've always moved forward.
All right. So basically, you're testing what, new models or things that they've changed or modified on the car, or what do you do exactly?
Its main purpose of it is so it's in the same car, and it's set up for me. So it's just mainly gaining experience to then prepare me to hopefully start racing next year.
Okay. All right. So this is to train you in order for you to race in actual races next year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that must be exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, well, it hasn't just been me; it's just been my family as well. But I'm the one who took racing up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it is one of the most exciting things I've ever done.
Yeah. So your family is 100% behind you?
Yeah. Sorry, my parents gone.
Yeah. So when you're gonna start racing? You said next year. Like, you know the location?
Hopefully, it'll be. So the plan is for me to start racing in FIA Formula 3, which is more international.
Okay.
So it could be literally going around the world because FIA Formula 3 follows Formula 1. So it literally is most of the time on the same race weekends as them.
Right. So how often do you need to do these testings? Like, is it every day, every week, every month, or?
Well, as much as I can. The more testing I do, the better it will be for me.
What is the
more
most
money?
amount of tests you've done in a day?
The most I've done so far is about 2 tests a year. Well, we're trying to. But then there are drivers out there who can do like probably 20 tests a year.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're trying to get to that level. We're just trying to get like investors involved, so then I can actually push forward to that. Yeah, that's what it is.
Hold on.
So what's the difference between a Formula 3 and a Formula 4? I'm not familiar with.
So it's basically it's a more powerful car, and it has a more downforce in general. So this is where it gets a bit confusing. So there's many different types of Formula 4 and many different types of Formula 3. There's
okay.
So there's like Italian F4, German F4, Asian F4. It branches literally internationally, but the top dog of all of it is FIA Formula 3, which is what we're trying to do.
Okay. All right. So Chase, questions?
All right, so I was gonna ask a couple questions. I know we went over this last time, but could you mention how you're related with Yusuf as well as your role in Delta a bit for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, 1 second. I'll answer that. Just my parents are literally needing me at the moment, which I did not expect. So I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. I will be talking about the game I was talking about just before this.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That sounds exciting.
Actually, I'm pretty excited to present the game. I didn't go over it too much in detail last time, but for anyone who knows about a game called Cookie Clicker back in 2013, it is loosely based off of that, drawing some inspiration from it, where we would have, instead of a cookie, you would have this very
Can you move your
high-tech
microphone a
looking.
little bit away from your mouth? Sorry.
Hi.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Closer.
Is this?
Try it. Yeah, try it.
Is this good?
I think it's better.
Okay, this is better. That's fine.
Yeah.
What's it too
Otherwise,
close?
we kept hearing your breathing. Sorry.
You hear my breathing?
All right.
A little bit from downstairs.
Yeah. So basically, you would have this really high tech looking, just car, like basically, in the middle, and then every time you click, you would get this lap, and these laps could be used to buy, new tires, new engine, soup up the thing, make it like from a Formula 4 to a Formula 3 car. Those are the types of like upgrades you're able to make in the game by purchasing with laps. Of course, we'd have a thing where you could buy certain upgrades using USDC, and people who participate in the game who are like in the top 10 or something, they'd all win a cash prize. And eventually we'd have tournaments that are sponsored by Ceran, and he would give out certain prizes like a signature, a signed item, or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
And and people would all be able to enter the game for free. That's one of the coolest aspects of it. And the way we would make money, in case people are unsure, is not just from people buying upgrades, but also from ads. We just have ads on the game, and by you simply playing the game, you help us, generate revenue, and you get a chance to win your own money in the tournaments.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's based on the cookie game, right?
Cookie Clicker game, yeah.
Yeah, Cookie Clicker or whatever it's called. All right, so
it's too old.
Now that Ceran is back, how about your involvement, Ceran, with Yusuf? How did that come about?
So I met Yusuf on a test day, funny enough. So he was testing in an Audi GT3 car. And I was literally in the garage next to him. And he saw how fast I was, and I saw how fast he was. And we just started talking, and that's how this all became a thing.
So do you guys race the same type of cars, or?
No, so he was in I'm in a formula categorized car, and he's in like a GT car. So let's say my road car is basically race spec of that. So it's got more like aerodynamics involved, a powerful engine. It's like a whole different category of a race car.
Okay, all right. So how did you get involved with Delta? What did USAP ask you to do?
Very much involved. He asked me if I wanted to, literally as what Chase was saying, is the cookie clicker game. So basically involve me. Basically is to use like whatever car I could potentially be in. Then you can get like upgrades and like, just get upgrades, make me go faster, for instance. It's gonna be around like a particular circuit. Could maybe unlock more circuits for more like entertainment like purposes. And then main thing is like if people want to buy like NFT side of things, then they could be like winning, as literally Chase said, they could be signed like merchandise, could be involved into actually attending a test day or race weekend, like paddock passes, etc. And then it could even be having a track day with me, for instance, so they can actually feel what it's like to be with a driver who like knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so for race car fans, that could be very exciting. Get on the racetrack and see what's actually happening in real life.
Yeah, it's like they get to not just see me like in the car, but they see what goes on, like how they set up the car, what I do as a driver on and off the track on that particular day. There's a lot involved.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice you're in a tank top today. Did you just come from a workout?
For whatever reason, the weather got quite hot. It was like 20 degrees, and then it's got to like 25, 26.
Oh,
so now
that's hot.
Yeah. I don't know why it is peaked up in the evening.
That's not hot. I'm in Thailand.
No, I was being sarcastic. Just like my air conditioner said like 26.
Cool temperature here.
Yeah. I into that one, didn't I?
People in the UK are so delicate, you know.
They're so delicate.
Right.
All right, out the frying pan.
Chase and I, like 25 degrees, it's cool.
That's a very cool temperature.
People wear a
I would
scarf
like 25.
when it's 25 degrees. They wear a scarf when it's 25 degrees. That's how cool it is.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same, but no. 25, we're all like shorts, vests, sunglasses, you name it. Then when it gets to like 10, yeah.
Yeah. I imagine the heat doesn't matter when you're driving, though, right?
Oh no. Like I'm in the same gear, like my undergarments on because they protect me from catching on fire, and then
I'm sure you're sweating in all that gear. You must be sweating.
Well, I'm a warm-blooded person, so it doesn't help my case whatsoever. Like, even if it's just
the stress of driving at those speeds. First of all, I'm sure your body sweats, and you have to have really fast reactions. So workout just driving. I'm sure you probably lose 5 kilos of sweat for each drive.
Well, because since I'm quite tall, I'm around like 6'2", 6'3", so that is right. I wish I could lose 5 kilos from just sweat, but no. For me, it's like about a kilo or two. And again, it's still a lot. So it's intense, but it's what I love doing. Like anything I do is for racing. No matter how hard
people that don't do this don't realize how physically demanding it is. It's very, very demanding.
Yeah.
And you need fast reflexes. It's insane. I can't do this. I got no reflex whatsoever.
It takes a lot of courage to admit that.
Yeah, I can't drive.
Like for me, I didn't used to have any reflexes whatsoever, but now it's a lot better than it was like 2-3 months ago. for instance,
Mm.
because like any slight like oversteer, understeer moment in the car, it's how fast you can react to it to save it from spinning or going to the wall. So it doesn't just help of trying to, like, when the lights go out, how fast you can do it. It comes into everything. Like if a car spins in front of you, how fast can you avoid it?
Right.
If there's a bit of debris on the track, like if you see it at the last second, can you avoid it? Otherwise, obviously damage to the car or you get a puncture.
And you need to be able to make decisions quickly.
Yeah.
Have you ever crashed a car? Go ahead.
I've had a front wing off. I've had a front wing take.
Front wing just fell off.
Yeah, so in one of these photos, that's on the sneak peek side. Yeah, literally that front wing on that particular day, not the whole nose, just the wing, literally clipped off.
Jesus.
Because I got caught up. So the front wing was just dangling across the straight. But I was driving, like, I knew my intentions that if I drive fast, this is gonna fly off and probably hit someone behind me, or just fly off and into the wall somewhere. But
so what do you do in those situations? Do you stop, or what do you do?
so it depends how bad it is. Luckily for me, it was just that wing, so I could make it back to the pits. But I drove at a steady pace, because if I drove fast, it would have probably gone under the car and lifted me in the air, so I wouldn't be able to steer. I'd have just gone straight.
I mean, that would have been a sight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, big accidents are very special, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They make for a good show.
Literally telling life experiences. I'm not even saying it.
You said that a couple pretty bad accidents. He had a little bit of brain damage and everything. But that's why we like him. We like his personality.
Is the brain damage?
Yeah, he said he had a little bit of brain damage on one major accident that he had. It took him months to recuperate. I mean, I think it's very exciting sport. It's very beautiful. It's spectacular, but you got, from time to time, there's some major trauma and accidents that can happen.
Yeah.
So, prudence. Yeah. You need to be prudent.
Like, it's what I say to everyone who asks about it, that it's not just sitting in a car and just driving it. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like all the physical and mental training, your knowledge of what the car does, how the car feels. Like it's a lot more in depth than just what the photos show.
Yeah.
Like with this
at least there's some perks. At least there are some perks. You get the champagne when you win, and the girls. It's all worth it in the end.
Eventually, yes.
Eventually. Actually, could you elaborate on some of the investment opportunities and exactly how a race team makes money? I'm actually kind of curious.
So pretty much, the race team makes money by the drivers. That's how the team runs. But knowing team the way teams charge, because in this championship, all teams charge different prices. So some people may want less money, some people may want more money, and it kind of sucks when it says the more money you pay, the better package you'll get. So in these junior categories, all it is pretty much how much focus the team will give to you. So it depends literally how your budget works, and then pretty much when it goes to FIA, F3, then F2, then F1, for instance. When it comes to F1, when I start earning money, then the team will also make the money through the championship itself. So I worked out, so let's say one championship point in F1 is worth $2 million. So then that will go to the team.
Mhm.
Okay.
So like my set salary, for instance, let's say if it's like 2 million a year or something, but then how many points I get, the more points I get, the more money the team will get.
Okay.
I see.
So let's say if I win a race, 25 points, that's literally 50 million to the team already.
What's the prize pool for F1?
That depends on budget. You can,
That's
literally, like one guy bought an F1 seat for 30 million.
oh, I mean like for winnings. Like how much can you win?
Oh, it literally depends. Well, if you're good, then your salary goes up. So let's say Max Verstappen, who's a world champion, his salary is 43 million a year after everything.
Wow. And then like how much can the team possibly win from like one individual racer or from all the racers they have?
So from one race, they can win. The team themselves can get 50 million because the max points is 25. Plus, obviously, the fastest lap, which they added a point. So that's pretty much 20. So it's capped at 27 million a race the team could get. Obviously, if you're winning every race and there's 23 rounds, they're laughing of how much money they want to get. Because then all that money will go to the team, and then they'll start using that money to build.
Who's sending this money over for the F1 tournaments? I'm just curious. Like, is it generated from fans? Is it from like rich people? People
think
just throwing money.
It's actually from the FIA themselves, and then it goes on towards onto the teams. That's how the teams make their money, and then the money the team make, they will go to pretty much all that money will be invested into developing their car for next year. So like literally a front wing in an F1 car is probably like $200,000. An engine these days is probably now worth 5, 6, probably 7 million.
Shit.
Each point literally counts. If you get no points,
that's no money. That's literally
no
just
no money.
Money down the drain.
So that's why they. That's why they
go
say.
Ahead.
That's why they say like in the top 10 get points. So everyone's fine for top 10 because points is money. Everything's money.
Everything is money. How much are the cars?
They're probably. So I've seen one that goes the ones that you can literally buy, but it's literally just the car itself. So there's nothing. So basically, all the engine, gearbox, everything is not there. So the car itself, literally just the frame, more or less, they go for about 100,000 or 200,000. Okay. But then, if you want to run it, then that'll probably be 5, 6, 7 million. That was like, these are these old cars. These year's cars, I have no idea how much they are. I bet probably maybe 10, 12 million or something like that.
Inflation.
It's money. It's just everything's money.
How many teams compete against each other? It's going to be a lot. Because to get to the top 10 must be super difficult.
There's 10 teams normally.
Right.
So in F1, I'm basing this off Formula 1. There's 10 teams in F1, 2 cars per team.
Right.
So there's 20 cars. But in the junior categories, so F2, I believe is the same. But in F3, there's 10 teams, but they have 3 cars. They have 3 cars per team. So that's 30 cars on one track.
But how do you get listed in those 10 teams?
So let's say if I get investors that want to invest into my career, then pretty much I would be under new management, and then where I go depends on where they want to go.
Oh, okay.
So I can have my input, and they'll probably say, okay, we can work with that. Then their team will probably get in touch with all these teams, and that's how it works.
So essentially, your sponsors basically buy you a spot.
Yeah. So at the moment, rather than me and my family funding it, it would be the business's money that will pay for my career. And then when I start earning my salary, then they may say, okay, we want 5% of what you earn as
Wow.
like revenue for them.
Have you seen the comments, guys? Two crazy one is saying me and Ceran 1v1 race right now.
Mate, if you've got 5k to spare on an F3 car, then come with me and we'll do it.
All right, Kerry, you got 5K? Yusuf makes a ton of money. I'm sure he's got the money saved up somewhere.
I don't right now, but I will in like probably 3-4 months time. But from how things are going, it could change.
Hmm.
So we have the Delta partnership.
Yeah.
Actually, aren't we in talks with getting the Delta logo potentially put on one of your race cars?
Yeah, that's in negotiations, I believe. That's down to you, Seth. If well, how much you being point blank is how much you wants to invest. Or how much you guys want to have your branding on the car.
Of course.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see our logo somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like it'll be nice because then more exposure. Because F1, F3, and F2 and F1, it's all on Sky Sports, so then that's got 1 million plus viewers.
Yeah. There are other crypto companies that sponsor race cars and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Red Bull is Oracle, Ferrari is Velas. I think about 8 teams have a cryptocurrency.
right. I saw Hex also. I forgot who they sponsored, but I saw their logo on a car. Yusuf showed it to me a little while ago. Yeah. Actually, we kind of copied Hex's certificate of deposit model. So that's how we got the inspiration. So, Chase, aside from the cookie race game, are we still doing the other game that
Yeah,
you
we're
found
still
out?
doing the other game. That game will be coming out much later because we are currently in the works preparing the cookie clicker game and our own decks. We're actually making our own decks. The details of which I am not allowed to say because they're a surprise.
There's some top secret information there.
From top secret. But I can say that we are making a dex. We're planning to make a dex.
Okay, so when is that coming, you think? Q1 next year?
Probably later on. Q1, maybe earlier if we get a little bit lucky. We'll have to see, but I don't want to do any promises that we can't keep up.
So the cookie clicker race car game is going to be what, Q4 this year?
Yeah, Q4 this year.
Okay. Early Q4, late Q4. What do you think?
Early Q4. It shouldn't take too long because
September-ish?
we have the whole design, like the whole aspects of the game and everything. We just have to go and implement some smart contracts and other things and do some test runs and such. But I think it'll be out very soon.
So September-ish, around there. What do you think?
Yeah, September-ish. Maybe just a little bit late at September.
Okay.
Most likely.
And the next game, you think what? After the decks?
So we're thinking after the decks, because we want to have the decks and the cookie clicker game as revenue sources because we want to make sure that we can create revenue, outside of just the Delta protocol. That way we can keep
Right.
Funding the APY and returning to our early investors.
Right. Talking about the early investors, what's going to happen with people that bought the first series of NFTs? Are going to be involved in any way with the cookie clicker or not?
So the first series of NFTs will not currently do not have or are not planned to have an involvement with the cookie clicker game. However, we are in talks about finding a way to implement it in the maybe by having certain perks to having it. We were planning to have one option of the game where you can enter for free, and another option you enter for $1, and the half of the dollars would enter a prize pool. Perhaps
Right.
people who have NFTs may be able to enter certain pools without having to like do a paid, upfront payment. But as of right now,
Yeah,
there's no planned involvement.
I think we should think about how we can help our early investors in those NFTs in one way or another, because they've been very patient with us and they invested very early on. So, because I get questions about that from time to time. So I want to make sure that they're going to be taken care of at some point. But I understand development takes a long time, so that's an issue.
Yeah, we don't want to rush anything because we want to make sure it works before we release it. If we release something that's bad, it looks even if we release it on time or early, it will look worse on paper and to everyone who invested in us. We don't want to like do anything. We don't release a bad product. That's basically our motto. We want to take our time, make sure it works, make sure it's good, make sure it makes sense, and then we're gonna release it.
Right. We're going to have a sneak preview of the cookie clicker.
Um, not right now. Not as right now. If you want a sneak preview, you can open up Cookie Clicker itself. But
I understand, but it'd be nice to have, I don't know, one of our designers maybe give us, an idea of what it might look like.
oh, for
You
sure.
know.
I'm currently waiting on some of the designs to come back, and then when I do, I will show it to you.
Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe late August, early September, we could have a sneak peek or something.
Yeah.
As
Oh, definitely.
as
We
a
should have
drawing.
a sneak peek AMA.
Yeah.
Ceran, what do you think should be the style of the Cookie Clicker game? Given that you'll be on it.
I think maybe blue, black, and silver, like a blue, black, silver background that like changes. So like it kind of maybe fades, going from a different color shade to different color.
Hmm.
May even have like a little bit of my logo that interferes, like well, not interferes, but like fades in and out.
Fades in and out. Okay.
Yeah, so literally on right here. So that's basically my logo on the
Mhm.
back.
Right.
Oh, the lion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that could be. You know, we do need a logo for the laps, so we could somehow incorporate that into like a lap. So like it looks like a circle at the end of it. It's a little lion.
Yeah. That's basically what I was like going for. So that could
Maybe we should
be
have Ceran in action behind the wheel or something.
Yeah,
It looked
we can do that.
exciting.
We can have another
know.
call, or I can show you some of the designs and you can give some input into it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Making it look like you work hard for the money, like
Work hard for the money. Um,
Yeah.
do you currently have a salary, Sarah?
I do not have one no, but
Mm.
from how things are projecting behind the scenes on my end, that could change within the next couple of years, maybe even a few years time.
Mm.
So at the moment,
Is
I'm on nothing, but from how negotiations and whatnot are going on my end, that could change quite soon.
Okay, that is very promising.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say that like it's quite common to go from like having to go find a sponsor to being a professional racer in F1, or would you say it's more likely that people already have like rich families that are backing them up when they make it there?
So I'll definitely say it's generally both. It's on both ends. It's the like I say it's probably like the inheritance money, like from maybe rich parents or people who just generally are quite well off already.
Yeah.
It's probably from there, but then sometimes I do see that guys who have that, then when it gets to halfway through the year, the kind of struggle starts to happen. That's when they try and look for other like sponsors to help them out.
Mm.
So like on my recent test, I had 3-4 potential investors there, and it looked very promising from all 3-4 of them. Because then at least then what they're trying to work on is, rather than depend on just one individual, then
They can have a bunch of people.
Yeah, get a bunch of people. So let's say if a season is $1 million a year, at least then it'll be like 250, 250, 250 or whatnot. So it evens it out, more or less. So the more sponsors we have, the better it will be, and more kind of the future set it will be then.
Yeah, there's less risk.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it'd be probably better in the next couple of years. What is the current plan for the coming years?
So next year we're projecting for FIA Formula 3, which is pretty much the race series that follows F1 in itself. So then there could be a year or two in that series. Then let's say if I'm in FIA F3 for 2 years, then the next year would be Formula 2. And then, depending on how long I'm in there for, then probably by 2025, 26 is when I could potentially be in F1 itself, with how things are going currently.
Currently, as of
Yeah.
right now, you have a straight travel that just goes.
Literally, that's what I've been told, and that's all I can say for now. Because one, I don't want to jinx anything, for sure, and two, I've yet to see documents and etc. because the test has just happened, so they're all acting on it literally as I speak.
Literally, as you speak, things are happening, plans
Yep.
are changing.
Yep. So it could be, that she projected is 2025, 26 is when could be there.
25. Okay. So we have 3-4 years. Let's say we wanted to be a sponsor for you. What would be in it for us?
So for one, typically, as every driver does say, I do admit that, helmet, your logo would be on the car, on my suit. Then depending on, generally just being point blank, depends how much you guys want to invest. Then if you guys want to, it could be your branding could be on my helmet. And then it depends where you want it to be placed as well. So let's say, like on the F3 car currently, we got the cameras just by the airbox. If you guys want your logo in a position where the camera will constantly be on your logo and more exposure, then again, that since FIA F3 is on Sky, so it's broadcasted to 1 million plus people regardless. So there's already automatically exposure just there.
As long as it's on the outside of the car.
Yeah, literally, like it'll be. Well, it depends what you guys want it to be. Then, if you guys want to invest even more, then it literally could be a livery where it could be full on just Delta Finance.
Has anyone ever invested in a spot inside the car?
No.
Not on the shoes, even.
If you guys really, really want to, it can be on the shoes.
It's like we'll throw $5,000, put it on the shoes.
Honestly, yeah, that's where it gets a little bit stupid. But I'm like, if it helps me race, it helps me race.
By wearing the Delta Finance shoes, you'll be able to win these races. That would be silly, right? Like, who even's gonna see the shoes?
I'll deliberately go in front of the camera and be like, check out these fresh.
In the interview stage after you win, you put your feet on the table.
No, I'll probably just take off the shoe and be like, yeah, you see this shoe?
It's right there. You see the QR code? If you scan that QR code.
Literally, yeah.
Take you to Delta Finance. Actually, that would be interesting if someone, instead of putting a logo, they put a QR code on the outside of the.
That'll be an interesting That'll be an interesting idea to actually get.
People would be just, by sheer, curiosity, they might just scan it, download some viruses.
Yeah, they just see like an encrypted message.
Yeah. By the way, DeFi Crypto today, in the private chat of the StreamYard, I put his YouTube channel. There's a cool point of view of him racing from the camera, just to sort of demonstrate exactly what he meant by like the camera angle for logos, as well as just to show like how crazy fast it's going
Where's that on
Yes.
his website?
on his website. But also, if you go to StreamYard, in the private chat, you can see that I put a link there.
That camera view is literally
The
what
private chat here? Sorry, which private
On the
chat?
right side.
On YouTube?
No, on StreamYard.
On
On StreamYard, the
StreamYard.
website. If you go there,
Oh, private chat. Sorry. Got
and
it.
if you can also see YouTube comments on the comment section. If you're wondering where I've been seeing all of them, that's where it is. I mean, all right, let's go see this. All right, perfect.
The
This
commercial.
is exactly the
Sorry.
view I wanted to see.
That's not me.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah, this is literally what you guys. This is basically what I see. So you guys get to see what I see from literally my
Wait,
helmet.
let's pause it a bit. Let it load.
That's very
Oh, it is
exciting.
loaded.
Though.
Okay.
Literally, like
Why
the
don't you
camera,
show that on the cookie game?
okay, literally the camera
You
literally
know?
sits. The camera literally
I
sits
know
just
what
there.
that- Yeah. But
Camera
what I'm
that
saying
sits
is that
on the helmet.
you know, like when we do the cookie game,
Yeah.
should have something that looks like this. When people buy upgrades and whatever, they could see the car accelerate or do something.
Oh, like a short acceleration animation that just goes across the screen.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect, but it looks like we're getting a speed boost or we're getting something.
Honestly, I mean the speed boost aspect is probably more so for the play to earn game. So I think this would be better if we had like a sort of inside your NFT thing, right? There's a point of view thing people can click, and it'd just be this, and then there's a button for speed boost, and they click the button.
As long as there's some sort of feedback that looks exciting, I think people are going to be interested in buy more, and are going to get excited about buying more.
Yeah.
Because just looking at it like this, yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Looks
Look
like
at
a
the
video
speed
game.
of this. Yeah, why we don't have a wheel like that in our car? Looks really nice. Look at all the colors. Sorry. Somebody's trying to call me. Anyway. We're going to have to shut down soon. It's 45 minutes already. Do we have any other questions?
I would just like to close off that if you want to learn more about Ceran Singh Sokhi, please join our Discord in Delta Finance, and you'll be able we'll have many AMAs with him coming up. Also, if you want to get involved with Delta, the only thing you can do as of right now is to buy our first series NFTs, which will give you access to an APY boost when Delta Finance launches, as well as access to the pre-mint, and as I mentioned earlier, potentially access to certain perks in the cookie clicker and other things. There's other perks to it. We're adding them as we make them.
Indeed. Definitely join our Discord. There's a ton of AMAs, almost several a week now. Almost every week we've got one AMA. We got the big, the giant group AMAs. How we call them again?
The mega AMAs.
Yeah, the mega AMAs. There's one on the 7th, right? I think.
On the 5th, every Friday.
Sorry,
we have
on the 5th. On the 5th. It's on the Friday.
Every Friday we have a mega AMA, and lots of projects come, and we have a poker tournament afterwards with like $2,000 at one point. We had $2,000 in prizes, and $1,000, and most of the time on average. And you can join as long as you come join AMA. We'll release the link to the poker tournament, and you can come join, hang out with us at AMA, ask questions, and then afterwards play some chill poker.
Are the AMAs on Twitter or on Discord?
They are on Discord. We've decided to stop on Twitter.
We don't use Twitter anymore.
No more.
Okay. Last time I was on Twitter, that's why I'm asking. I want to make sure. All right. Ceran, thank you very much for this fun interview.
It was my pleasure. Thank you guys.
And please tell us when something exciting happens in your racing career so we can do another AMA and get your fans up to date on what's going on.
Yes,
All right.
for sure. For sure I will. Don't worry.
All right. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for participating, and see you next time.
You're then.
See ya.
All right. I think we ended the broadcast.